rarely is scientific discovery. It's about conquering nature, isn't it? I mean, that's amazing, isn't it, that you could bring a mammoth back? What are the implications to bringing a mammoth back? You know, could they aid the workload? Could they feed the starving? You know, there's
what,
applications.
So you're saying,
well, I'm not
bring
saying
it back
anything.
to kill it, to eat it?
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that rarely is scientific discovery pointless and a waste of time in the greater scheme of things. We learn from this, don't we? The fact that it can map DNA of a mammoth, what are the implications there? Could we bring back, I don't know, Churchill? Could we bring back Nelson? Would we want to? Is it moral? That's another question. But the feat alone, and I don't mean its feet, I don't mean we can...
Well, that was what he was thinking when his eyes moved.
Yeah, I meant the achievement alone is remarkable. Putting a man on the moon, pointless. But what a feat.
But don't you think...
Not impressed by putting a man on the moon?
No, we've chatted about the man on the moon. You know, some people like it, some don't. I'm not going to argue about it. Do you know what I mean? If you were behind it and that, good on you. But
yeah.
I'm not that fussed. I don't think we've learnt that much from it. He went all that way, popped a flag up, came back. What have we learned about that journey since? We haven't really been back.
We conquered space. We just conquered space. That's what we do. We see what we can do. Why climb a mountain? Because it's there. What's at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah, but I don't agree with people who climb mountains for the sake of it. It's all right if you've got to get over it, but don't go up and then go down again. Just go for a good walk.
Well, I don't mind as long as they don't strain the emergency services. If you're a posh bloke going up the mountain in a beard and you get stuck, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, people have to risk their lives going to rescue you because you wanted to live with that, actually.
But don't you think the world's busy enough? It's like you can't hardly move. You know what I mean? And mammoths are taking up quite a bit of room if a load of them come back. We've already got elephants, which in my eyes are good enough. They do, you know, they carry stuff about and that. What's going to be better, a mammoth or an elephant? Because I can see that one of them's going to have to go at some point. If like we start running out of elephants, would they say, well, it doesn't matter, we've got mammoths and stuff. So what's the point?
You don't need anyone else in the room for a conversation, do you?
No, but what
He's arguing with himself.
He's arguing with his own head.
Amazing.
Where would you put the mammoth if they get it going, right?
Yeah.
They pop it on give it the old electric shock and that, wake it up, and
Frankenstein has been watching.
And it's like,
all his information about science is about the Flintstones, Planet of the Apes, and Frankenstein.
In his head, they've got an elephant. They've put some carpet tiles over it, and they're trying to bring that back to life as a mammoth.
Yeah, forget it then.
Carl, can we have some monkey news before I die?
All right.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
This week, what I thought I'd do, right, because we're getting loads of emails from people who haven't really heard much of the monkey news that I've done in the past, right? And a lot of people are sending through one of the first ones that I did that was a good monkey news. I think it's worth hearing again, just in case you forgot about it, because it's sort of classic monkey news. I don't know if you want a different jingle.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, you know, if it's anything that you've ever said, it's not true anyway, so carry on.
Well, it was a true one, because this is the one that, like, this is like world-known monkey news. A lot of people will send this through. It's the most popular one, right? It's about this monkey that was knocking about called Ollie, right? It's called Oliver.
Yeah.
And it was in this zoo, and it was the only monkey in there, right? So
this is one they think was the missing link. It was half human, half ape. That programme on television, because it had bald. It looked like you, which doesn't mean it's half anything.
It might have been that one. What happened is it was in the zoo and stuff, and it was getting a bit lonely because, like, it was sharing its sort of time with, say, an elephant and a giraffe and that.
No, it doesn't happen.
And they didn't really
No,
get on that well.
Wait, they do
not
not
let me just tell you.
They do not put chimpanzees in with... No, but it's not true. Why would he share his time with an elephant and a giraffe?
Gervais, it was some kind of flat share. They put an advert in the student union saying, we've got 2 rooms to let.
African mammal wanted, not specific.
A mammoth and
what I'm saying is there was other elephants for elephants to knock about with and that. The monkey, it was the only one there. So what happened is the zookeeper felt a bit sorry for him.
Right.
He was like, oh, look, he's looking all fed up and that.
Yeah.
And like you say, I think he went a bit bald because he was bored and that. So he started to sort of get pally with him. So at lunchtime, when the zookeeper was sat on the wall having his, like, ham butties or whatever, he'd sort of go, all right? And it used to come over closer and closer, right? Yeah. Anyway, within a month, he was sat on the wall having his lunch with him, right? Just a little wall in the zoo.
So they let the monkey out. The monkey could come and go. He had his own door key.
Just near where the monkey is, it used to just pop over.
Oh, these blinking latchkey monkeys.
I know, yeah. He was 21. Yeah, go on.
Sit there having his butty and that with the monkey and stuff. Yeah. And anyway,
the ham butty,
as time went on, because the zookeeper back then, zoos weren't as popular as they are now. Right. So it was only it was him on his own really. So he found like the monkey was the closest thing.
Absolute rubbish. The zoo could not run with one zookeeper.
This is a true thing. I mean, this is what I'm saying. A lot of people.
But the height of popularity for zoos surely was in the Victorian era. So
exactly.
But anyway, go on.
Carry on. But you're sort of picking up on little things that aren't important. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but anyway, so he's sat there, and as time goes on, he's sort of sat with him most of the day. Monkey's walking around with him, helping feed the other animals and that.
No.
But then what happened is the zookeeper at the end of the night when he's like locking up and stuff, he'd feel bad because he'd be leaving the zoo, and like Ollie's sat there and he's like, "I'll see you tomorrow," and the monkey later, looking all fed up because he's got home to go to and he's still stuck in where he's basically working every day. Right, so he's never going home, right?
Now he's sleeping at work. The monkey.
So anyway, the zookeeper goes home, says to his wife, "Look, Ollie's having a bit of a time at the moment." So she said, "Oh yeah, what's going on?" He said, "Well, he's just looking a bit fed up. He's sick of it." So she said, "Bring him home." So he said, "Well, I did want to ask, but I didn't want to force it.
This conversation didn't happen."
So anyway,
I love that he's giving it in such detail.
Yeah, I know, it didn't happen.
So
this is in your head.
So she said, "Yeah, bring it home tonight." So anyway, he's looking forward to going into work and that. He sees Ollie. He doesn't tell him straight away.
It's
a surprise for him later.
Oh, God.
So they go through the day, usual stuff, feeding elephants and all that. It gets to the point when it's like they have the lunch and that. It gets to the end of the day.
Yeah.
And sort of Ollie's there. He's looking at him like as if to say, "Well, there you go, another day, another busy day and that."
Little does he know.
See you tomorrow and stuff. Anyway, he's like, "Get your coat." He's like, "What?"
Coat? What do you mean?
Whatever the equivalent is, right? Whatever you say to a monkey, it was kind of like, you're coming with me sort of thing.
Yeah. Right.
So he's going, "Oh, brilliant." Anyway,
no, he's not!
So
what do you mean he's going brilliant?
He takes it home.
So he gets his hat and coat.
He gets his hat and coat and stuff.
And he
can't believe his luck, right? He goes back to the zookeeper's house. Everything's going well for about a week and a half. Right?
Has he got his own room?
He still goes like to work and stuff.
To the zoo, yeah.
To the zoo.
He doesn't work there.
And then he comes back with the zookeeper. But anyway, what ended up happening is, so anyway, he's back at the house and it's going well for about a week and a half. Treating him really well. He's sat there. He's having a brandy at night before he goes to bed. Zookeeper noticed that when he took it back to work, it was kind of getting flashbacks of not having a good time in the zoo, right? So he was like, this isn't helping him out. He's happy when he's at home with the brandy and the fags and that. When he comes back here, he's starting to look a bit fed up. So he said to his wife, "Look, you're at home all day, right?
Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to work. I'll leave it with you, right?" So Ollie stays at home.
Yeah.
Anyway, as time goes on,
yep.
a little bit of trouble. Whilst the fella's busy at work, grafting, paying the bills and that for Ollie at home, Ollie starts getting a little bit cheeky. Tries it on with the missus.
Right. Whoa.
Right.
How does a monkey try it on with the missus?
Are you talking
this is classic monkey news. And
how does it try it on with the missus?
So he's a bit drunk. He stinks of smoke. He tries it on with the missus. How does he try it on with her?
I don't know all the detail on.
You don't know
on
any
bit.
of the details.
I don't know the detail on that bit. But
you don't know any of the details.
No, I don't know the details on that bit.
You don't know any of the details.
So what happened? So while the zookeeper's away, the monkey did play. What happened? Did the zookeeper's wife reciprocate these affections?
Just a little bit of little bit of fun, I suppose. She probably went along with that at first. She's cooking at home, getting the tea ready. That's walking past, pinching her arse or whatever. And do you know what I mean? It starts off just like it does, with humans. Starts off as a bit of fun. Before you know it, split up in the end. Anyway, the zookeeper and I think the monkey stayed with the woman. So, it's all there. It's
honestly,
all on email, mate.
Your imagination.
Well,
you should write stories. You should write.
Get people to look it up. Just put in monkey, chimp, Ollie, and it's all there.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Happy New Year, particularly to those great guys at Positive Internet for hosting this podcast.
Dynamite.
The world's #1 podcast, thanks to the guys at Positive Internet. So, check out rickygervais.com to check out Carl's Head. Go and buy extras and flannels. Check it out on flannels.com.
Oh, come on, this is shameless.
Extras
still available.
Fridge freezer for sale, £400 or nearest offer.
Steve Merchant wishing you a happy new year. I'm sure Carl Pilkington wants to reciprocate that. Yeah.
And I do you know what I want to wish them? I want to wish them a fantastic new year. Right, you're talking shit. Explain yourself.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Welcome to the 6th podcast in a series of 12. The Ricky Gervais Show, available online with me, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant.
Hello.
And Carl Pilkington.
All right.
Halfway through after this then, Carl.
Yeah.
You enjoying it?
It's all right, isn't it?
It's had a great response. We're the #1 podcast in the world. We've had thousands of messages, and it's just great to know that people all around the world are listening, don't you think?
Yeah.
It's great, isn't it?
I should just point out, Rick, that we've had a few emails, including one from Mark Pavlidis, that says that some of the people listening on the enhanced podcast, so, you know, these fancy people, super rich people who can afford that one, apparently sometimes if they try to pause the show halfway through, it sort of freezes, and they've got a problem restarting it. And he's saying that apparently you should just hold down menu and select, and that'll reboot it. So I don't know if you have had that problem.
Hold on. Who's pausing this show halfway through?
I don't understand it.
I can't believe it. This is like a book that you can't put down.
What have they got that is better to do with their time?
What can be better than listening to Carl's drivel and his stupid theories? Unbelievable. We've got a little email straight away, Carl, from Nikki in Beverly Hills, California. She says, Carl, you rock. I hate it when Ricky and Steve ridicule you. I checked out your picture on rickygervais.com. Although your head is not normal, to ridicule you. You look gimp, but I never judge a book by the cover.
Cheers.
That's all you've got to say?
Well, it's only because I've got no hair, though, isn't it? That's why it gives that effect.
No, it's perfectly round your head. It's perfectly spherical head. Your face is slightly too big for it. It almost goes over the sides. Perfectly round head, pug little nose, funny gimp eyes with no expression, hangdog look. Like a little mouth, like a little lamprey, not formed, not human formed. The way your expression is like you've had a lobotomy. Your head goes weird at the back. It's got a little nod in it, like it's really strange, your face, and you're stupid.
We've had a lot of emails saying that. I mean, I think he's just paraphrasing, but... talking of emails, you know, a couple of... I can't remember which show it was, but you mentioned, Carl, that you'd only recently seen a Chinese homeless person.
Oh, yeah.
And it really surprised you because you'd never seen a Chinese homeless
before,
person.
no.
And I actually went along with that. I've still never seen person.
Well, that's... Other than obviously people contributing monkey news, the search for Chinese homeless people has been an has been overwhelming on the email. People are just, I mean, people are actually going out looking for Chinese homeless people. Now, I can just tell you now that there's a few responses from Los Angeles, people saying there are quite a lot of Chinese homeless people over there because apparently there's a huge homeless community in Los Angeles. So definitely if you want to see them, Carl, that's the place to go. But we've had one from Vancouver, Canada, from a girl called Amy, and Amy herself is Chinese, and she says that she realised herself that she'd never really seen a Chinese homeless person. And although she says that apparently Vancouver has the first or second largest Chinese population in Canada, she'd never seen them, and she actually went for a walk around the Chinatown in her area looking for them, and she could not find any on that particular day. So again, Canada obviously not a place to go for a Chinese homeless.
It was just a point, though. I don't want people sort of...
Well, hold on, though. Wait, I'll stop you there. Hello, Ricky, Steve and Carl. I live in New York City and have seen a Chinese homeless person. Not only is he Chinese, but he's a midget. He's been living on the streets for the last 30 years. He used to dress in rags, but thanks to a coat drive, he's now wearing a fancy Adidas jacket, right? Now he encloses a picture. He says he gave him $10 to take the picture, and I've seen it, and he's a little Chinese midget fella.
I'm just getting a bit worried that people are going out there sort of looking for these. Because they, you know,
well, that's what you requested.
No. But all I was saying is, I saw one. I didn't start saying, "Excuse me, can you just give us a smile? I'm taking your picture." Do you know
we've had loads of pictures of people.
I know, and it worries me a little bit. And I mean, it's not too bad about the one who took one of a little midget one, because you know, if he kicked off, it'd be quite easy to sort of hold him back. But I'm talking about fully grown.
So is that your warning to people? Don't be taking pictures of fully grown Chinese homeless.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, you know, don't be messing about going up to strangers and that and annoying them and stuff, right? Maybe
I think that's a good rule of thumb. Don't annoy them. But I mean, that is a hell of a sighting, isn't it? We asked for a Chinese homeless, and they gave us a Chinese midget homeless.
Where, Carl, that you're sort of fascinated by smaller people.
Well, he's fascinated by difference, I think.
Yes.
I don't think he's having a go at people. You're not having
a go.
when you sort of stare at someone because they don't look like you, and let's face it, most people don't look like you. You're not having a go, are you?
Well, like I say, first time I saw Steve, I was never having a go. It was just, oh, that's different. But you know, like you know, Steve, I was never having a go. It's just that thing of, oh, right, interesting.
What do you mean?
No, just you know, I've said before about when I saw Steve and what have you. Now I've got used to it, and
Steve
it's the
got
same.
used to it. What
I don't know. Well, you know my feeling with this. I don't really know where he's coming from.
But Steve knows I'm not having a go either.
Yeah.
Carl used to carry around a book that was called the Top 50 Freaks of All Time.
Well, it's interesting you should mention that, because we actually had an email from Richie who says that he's been a fan of ours for many years and he's listened to lots of the radio shows we've done in the past and things. And he says, of all the people you've discussed, Carl, in the past, including some of the people from your you know, odd magazines, who would you most like to spend the day with, of all those people that you've encountered?
Favourite?
Well, certainly who you would want to spend time with, who you feel would be the most fascinating, the most interesting. You know, I mean, let's just recap on some of the...
Pillow Man, the bloke with no arms, no legs that can roll a cigarette with his mouth.
Yeah.
No? Not impressed with him?
That's not sufficient.
What about the three-legged juggler?
So hang on, let's just recap for new listeners. This was a man with 3 legs?
3 legs,
right.
And it said his job, he became a juggler.
Okay.
Not using the gift that he'd been given.
What you suggest?
Anything. Running, swimmer. Just... You know, but yeah, what are the others? What are the other ones?
There was a picture of a gentleman. You were fascinated by him. He used to play the piano.
Oh, he's got a tiny head, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's that. That's the one who he sort of ages fast.
Right.
So like every other week he's having a birthday and stuff. And yeah, that was weird.
He's not having a birthday every other week. His body's just aged, so it has the appearance, his biology. Like he's 70, but he's only like 15. They don't have a birthday every week. You idiot.
But yeah, I don't know about knocking about with one a long time though. That's
only for a day.
Yeah. Suppose it depends what I'm up to. Because if we're going out and about, the Pillow Man would just be a bit of a drag.
Whereas if you're going for a walk across, the 3-legged guy, ideal.
So, yeah.
Oh. The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
Lots and lots of people emailing just with questions for Carl. People just want to get his opinion on stuff. So if you have questions for Carl, keep them coming in. podcast@rickygervais.com. We can't really reply to your emails, but we do read them, so we really appreciate them coming in. Just a couple of quick ones for you, Carl. Wendy says, if Carl had to eat the same dinner every day for the rest of his life, what would he eat? She mentioned this because she was having Christmas dinner and it was a big, she loves Christmas.
What's wrong with Christmas dinner? I mean, the roast dinner is the king of dinners, and the Christmas dinner is the king of roast dinners.
Yes.
But you can't have one every day.
No, it's absurd.
But it's brilliant.
We have 3 meats in our house.
It's unbelievable. The amount of meats is just amazing. It's just a plate of meat.
It's just meat
with one Brussels sprout, one token Brussels sprout, and the gravy. Oh.
You see, it depends, doesn't it? I mainly eat just so I keep going. I'm not that bothered about, because I don't really taste it anyway. I just shove it down.
You're like like a horse.
But at what point did it become important that things were sort of, seasoned or garnished to go with it and stuff? At the end of the day, we're all eating, aren't we? So you can move about and that, and you've got energy.
Well, we need to know what we're tasting, don't we? Because we need to have certain things. We need sugar, we need salt. So we need to know what they taste like to know we're getting them.
No,
your body
now we've
craves
got
them.
chefs, so leave that up to them to make sure we're getting
I thought you were
salt.
talking about an evolutionary standpoint and how it evolved, not there was a little...
No, but leave it for them to make sure, we're getting safe food. I mean, to be honest, it annoys me the way people worry about food now and how there's so much to choose from. I think it's got out of hand. I'll watch...
Any form of choice really worries you, doesn't it?
No,
you don't like choice.
No, choice is good, but not too much. It's like with anything now, if you go into a toffee shop, there's like loads of different...
Where are you going to find a toffee shop?
So you're in a fairy tale.
Yeah. You're in a Dickens tale in the 19th century.
You're in Shrek. And
you go into a toffee shop.
What's your point? You go into a toffee shop.
What I'm saying, you go into a shop full of toffees.
You've just come from the candlestick maker.
Right? You go in there and there's just too much choice. It's like, what? And I can stand there up to like 4 minutes, sort of going...
Up to 4 minutes.
So specific.
4 minutes.
So he's in a toffee shop in a top hat.
Well, he's only got 4 minutes. He's only got 4 minutes because he's got that he's saving off it.
No,
good morrow.
Well, forget the toffees.
Could I have some of your finest Oxfordshire toffees?
So you'd prefer it was just one selection of toffee, that's all they've got?
Well, maybe 2. What I'm saying is, right, there's now too much choice. Whenever you get a menu in a restaurant, it's not like you don't just go, oh, right, what is there? Yeah, I'll have that. There's too much. It's like a book now, isn't it? And you look at it all. And then you've got to that point now that people are even taking a risk when they're eating.
What do you mean?
In Japan or China or something, they're eating that fish that if it's not cooked right, it can kill you, right? Yeah. Not worth the risk when there's so many other fish.
Yeah, I agree. Why
have mackerel, have a bit of cod or whatever.
Yeah,
as soon as there's a risk, take it off. Take it off
I
the
agree.
Menu.
I totally agree.
Not worth
it. We've got a fish that might or might not kill you. Well, is there anything that definitely won't kill you? Yeah, but a chicken won't kill you.
I'll play safe then. I'll have that.
I love that. I love the chicken.
That's what I'm saying.
The Ricky Gervais Show on Guardian Unlimited.
But anyway, we were talking about that. Right? Stitching time saves 9. Don't. I'm never going to use that. I don't think anyway. Right?
Okay.
Suzanne.
You're never going to understand it fully, are you?
Suzanne repairs me stuff anyway. So it doesn't really matter. But what about the one? About the one in greenhouses and that.
People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones.
Yeah.
What?
Does that confuse you? You've never understood that one?
No, that's a lot clearer, isn't it? It's sort of saying, don't be chucking stuff about if you're surrounded by glass and what have you.
Yeah, but don't forget, it's an analogy, it's a metaphor, it's not to be taken literally. It's not really just talking to people who live in glass houses. It's saying... Hang
on, sorry, before you say that, Rick, I'm intrigued to know if he's fully got to grips with this. Okay. Just give us your explanation again of what you'd take that to mean.
Well, just don't be chucking stuff about, really.
Well, if that was it, they'd just say that.
No, but that saying's been around a lot longer than we think. That's when people probably did live in basic glass houses and stuff.
No,
what they mean now.
Who has ever lived in a glass house?
So cavemen went from rock to a nice crystal structure, did they? What are you talking about? When did people live in glass houses?
What they mean now, when that saying's used now, they mean sort of, plasma tellies, ornaments,
No, they don't.
They're saying don't chuck stuff about because
No,
you'll break it.
no, it's not about damaging your own property.
They don't mean you're inside the glass house throwing rocks inside your own glass
It's
house.
a metaphor. It means don't be having a go at people if you yourself have got more to lose. Do you know what I mean? It means it could be anything. Don't start a war where you could come off bad as well. It's about how fragile your situation is. If you live in a glass house, metaphorically, don't throw stones at someone else, because when he throws it back at you, your house is more easily damaged than his. Again, metaphorically.
It doesn't mean that if you're living in a glass house or in a house with other precious objects, you don't throw bricks about. Because that would be a very specific audience that I was trying to reach, that phrase. I mean, let's be honest, what kind of a mental
Do you know
case?
what? I think we've got the crux to this, right? I think I can answer. Right. Carl, what is an analogy?
It's sort of like a little story told quickly. Isn't it?
It's
It
a
is,
little
though, isn't it?
story told quickly. To what end?
Well, it depends what the story is.
Okay.
Depends.
Give me an analogy.
Well, for me, I thought a one with the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a greenhouse. Before it was just a glass house.
Yeah.
All right, then a glass house.
Okay.
Right. What I mean is that glass house is metaphorical. It's about the fragility of your situation as compared to your aggression or your...
You see, I just prefer sort of, what you say is what you mean. So people who live in a glass house have to...
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I mean,
Because
you may be a genius, because I don't get that. People who live in glass houses have to answer the door.
Okay, let's hear his explanation.
Because the people knocking at the door will be able to see you because it's a glass house.
But what...
But you literally mean it, don't you? There's no analogy there or metaphor for you. You literally mean if you live in a glass house and
go
someone
onto the
knocks the door. So there's no hidden meaning there, is there?
Well, normally...
Couldn't that also... But you have to add a number of other things, other caveats. Surely, if you live in a glass house, don't walk around naked.
Yeah.
If you live in a...
But these are literal. See, if you... Now, you could actually make that into quite a nice... saying there, because if that meant, if someone said that to me and they weren't a shaved chimp, right? If they said people who live in glass houses have to answer the door, I think that means, it means that there are no secrets. You can't hide behind anything. If you're very open, if you've chosen to be totally open all the time, you can't go back on it. So people, if you wear everything out around and you tell the truth, and you can't go back on it. They can see through you.
It can mean that as well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's handy. But just the idea that in your head there should be sayings for people who live in glass houses. Who is it that's living in a glass house?
Well, I'm not talking about them. It's just that if everyone else is bringing up about these people who are living in glass houses, let's get to the real problems they've got.
He still hasn't got to grips with the idea of the metaphor or the simile.
People who live in glass houses should live near a glazier.
Right. Well, here's another saying, right, that I learnt recently from a mate, right? There's an elephant in the room.
Okay, I haven't heard that one, but explain it to me.
It's like when something's going on in a room, right, but no one's mentioning it because everyone's a bit too sort of... But in a way, it's better that it's out. It's like how, whenever we go out for something to eat or a drink or something, it's normally after about 5 minutes, the sort of topic gets onto the shape of my head.
Yeah! Or is this the shape of your head?
Right, so you're happy
It's
talking
not just
about
the
it.
shape, though, is it? It's the state of it as
No,
well.
but what
outside and in.
But-
I mean, it's a fascinating little objet d'art, his
what-
head.
but what I'm
it's
sa-
perfectly round. It's got no hair where it should have. And it's hollow.
The features are slightly too small for the face.
Yeah,
No,
unbelievable.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's interesting how, like, I'm the elephant in the room, right? Nobody's talking about it. You mention it once, suddenly it's the talk of the town. It's what I mean. Everybody starts joining in, going, well, yeah, it is round, but it does suit you. And these are people who I don't even know sometimes, and they're all dipping in. And that is an elephant in the room.
So you don't want people to discuss the shape of your head or the lack of hair. You would feel better. You would feel happier that they didn't mention that.
Sometimes I think it's better that it's out there. It's made me a stronger person, though. It's the same way, we were talking about religion and that. Samson Delilah,
Yeah.
he got weaker without hair.
Mm.
Whereas with me, I think it's because it's almost like it's treated like a disability. Everybody's sort of mentioning it and talking about it. What's it like having a bald head? And you know what I mean? So it's made me stronger.
But would you ever wear a wig?
Not really.
What was a long wig, like Samson?
Well, the only time I wanted a wig was when I did jury duty once, wasn't it? And it was annoying that I was sat on the jury right in front of, like, these criminals, right? Everybody else has got disguises. The judges have them wigs on, right?
That's not disguises!
It is a disguise. That's a disguise. That's why judges wear them, right? So
No! Well, then why did they print their name in the paper and have a picture? What do you mean it's a disguise?
it's a disguise, isn't it?
No! If it was a disguise, they'd go in with one of those glasses with a nose and the beard attached if it was a disguise. All judges would look like Groucho Marx if it was a disguise.
Well, I'm just saying that's what annoyed me when I was sat there on the front row, right? I couldn't have been any closer to the criminals, right? I was sat there and I thought, why didn't I just pop a little wig on or...
I would have loved to have seen you in the front row at Crown Court.
No,
I'd
because...
love to see it because in this country you're not allowed to show pictures of jurors. You can't take photos in a courtroom, so there's always these sketch artists that draw drawings, and it's on the news. The idea that we'd have seen 11 people and a sort of Krusty the Clown figure would have been amazing.
Yeah, I would love to see the artist do an interview, because it would be like complicated people. Oh, hey, he looks characterful, and then just a little round head.
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown sitting on the end.
Carl, you said that your New Year's resolution was that you were going to learn something every day.
Yeah,
Have you learned anything today?
If I can. Today, like, I don't know the full facts of it, but...
Could I just say that when someone says they learn something new every day, that doesn't count if they forget it the next day.
No,
because that'd be Groundhog Day learning.
Well, the thing I learnt today was about an octopus.
Oh,
Go on.
What they can do is, they've got 8 legs and that.
Yeah.
They
Tentacles.
they can use 6 of them legs to cover their head so they look like a little stone, and use the other 2 to run off. Right? But that's
He's thinking of Squiddly Diddly.
Yeah, it's a Disney image in his head, isn't
He's
it?
thinking
They're
of
pink.
But anyway, that's
So
that's
it's
not the
Pink
main
singing
thing.
a song in your mind and running off, yeah.
No, but anyway, but something else I learnt, right? It's mainly about animals and that, because that's
Yeah.
normally quite interesting.
Yeah.
There's a chicken somewhere,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
Specific.
and the owner of it was getting fed up because, he had to feed it and that, but it wasn't.
Embellishment.
it
Guesswork.
No, come on, let's hear it.
It wasn't giving anything back.
No eggs.
No eggs, right? So he was like, "Oh, I'm sick of this." Anyway, someone told him, pop a little axe next to its little house, right? So when it comes out in the morning, thinking, "Oh, I'll have another lazy day doing nothing," right? He saw this axe, and suddenly it was like, "Oh, right."
I'm
Next
for the
day,
chocolate thought, yeah.
it laid about 6 through
Squeezed them
worry.
out.
It's
Super
rubbish.
quick.
The chicken wouldn't recognise an axe as a threat. It wouldn't be able to reason that I better start working or I'll be meat. I better start. It's absolute rubbish. Once again, it's this ridiculous thing you got that one personifying animals to reasoning powers better than yours. I mean, I think you make chickens and monkeys cleverer than you in your stories, which is weird. Okay, it didn't happen and wouldn't work. Next,
Well,
what else haven't you learnt today?
No, well, as always, things like that always get me thinking.
What
right?
else haven't you learnt today?
No, hang on,
Carl?
he's got his mind's working now. This
Go
apparently
on.
has got his
Yeah,
mind
so
working.
that's rubbish.
Well, do you think then that it's worth looking after animals then if there isn't any memory? If they don't know what's happening anyway, you're always going on about don't be cruel to things.
Yeah, why would you be cruel? There's